Welcome to ankle mobility. So for this session, all you're really going to need is a band, a kettlebell, or you can use a few weights stacked up at an angle, and a lacrosse ball. And if you want to go a little further, at the end we do a bit of voodoo wrapping. So voodoo floss, which is just essentially a thicker band cut, and we'll wrap that around. So you can see here, I have the band attached to the rig at a really low point, and I'm in between two GHD machines, so I have something to hold on to. So if you have a bar or part of the rig that you can hold on to, you can also do that. And right now I have it on my left ankle, and I'm just trying to mobilize a deep squat on my left ankle. So I've turned my feet out a little bit. I'm holding onto the GHD machine. I'm at a really taut band, so I'm stretched out as far as I can with the band without having it snap back on me, and I am sitting down in a squat. So you can do this for a little bit with what feels good. You can take a wide squat, or you can keep your feet together. You can turn your toes out or in, but just make sure that you have that band on the lower half of the calf, but not right at the heel. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to separate the gastroc a little bit and pinpoint that soleus, which is that long strappy band of muscle underneath the two heart-shaped gastroc tissues. So I'm going to let y'all sit with that for a moment, and you can just follow the turnout of the feet and see what feels best for you. So switching ankles just for a moment so you can step out and mobilize the foot that you just stretched. And so now we're going to stay with the band once again. You're going to turn and face away from the band. So whereas you were facing towards the rig before, you're going to face away from the rig this time, and the band is going to be pulling on the front of your ankle. You can bend your knees a few times, but again, this is going to be based mostly upon what feels best for you. So the front of my ankle was really kind of bothering me today, so I really wanted to accentuate coming up high onto the toes to get into that tissue there. And then also having the peroneals, which are what you guys might know as the shin splints muscles. I wanted those to kind of be bound when I came up onto my toes so they wouldn't activate too much and they would get pinned and stretched.
I'm known as Rich.
So again, just moving and seeing what feels best for you. Inverting and everting. And then here we're going to come down onto our toes, and we're going to do the best that we can to strap that rubber band across the front of our ankle and keep it in one spot. There was a point in time when it actually snapped off, and that might happen. So again, we'll band it to the front of our ankle. We'll come to a place where we feel like we're kind of getting maximum stretch on the band, just to the place where we're not going to be pulled back. And then we'll drop our knees to the ground. We'll keep our toes curled, and we'll really feel the stretch all the way through our plantar fascia, down the Achilles, and we'll also feel the stabilization in front of the ankle. We'll come out of this, turning that different direction. So this time, the medial part of the ankle is going to be stretched, and we'll hold on to the GHDs or handle or whatever you have in front of you. Again, very taut on that left side, and we'll begin to squat down again, this time close toed squats, excuse me. I'm just trying to get the best ankle mobilization as possible. Alright, so this next part you're going to need a lacrosse ball. And we're pretty much going to start from the top of our foot and work ourselves all the way down to the heel. So not much to really explain here, except we're just going to start at the toes. Curl and apply pressure standing up. You have your other leg stabilizing you right now. And most people do this really fast, but we just want to stay and hold and apply pressure in certain parts. Starting at the toe, wrapping the toes all the way around. Then moving to the arch, and then eventually the heel, but we'll get there. Take your time and just enjoy this horrible, crunchy sometimes, painfully enjoyable, relaxing, not really sensation.
And ever since I left to see you, got exactly what you asked for. Running out of pages in your passport. Hanging with some girls I've never seen before. You used to call me on the shelf.
Making your way through to the arch, back up to the toes, and just rolling out the whole foot by this time. You're then going to put that ball right under the heel, and we're slowly going to take our time and bring your knee to the floor. That way you have just a little bit more of controlled access and pressure right there on that heel. You might notice some sharp feelings, and that's just the ball probably breaking up any sort of heel spurs. Tight tissue trigger points. So grabbing a kettlebell or stacking a few plates underneath one plate at a 45-degree angle, we're going to begin to step on and stretch out that calf and the soleus. Again, the soleus is that long strappy muscle all the way from the heel to the back of the knee. And then the gastrocs are the two half heart-shaped muscles on top of the soleus. So just doing some deep stretching for those calves. If you've ever seen a triangle slant board, that's essentially what we're trying to create here. So whatever you can do to get that and make that in your gym or your house, do it. Get creative, guys. And then I do some toe mobilization. Again, I'm holding on to something, but if you have the flexibility, go ahead and curl the toes and then maybe even come all the way up onto the toes as much as you can. And then again, checking out how much your mobility in the ankle has changed by coming to a few squats and toe elevations. Again, coming back after we do that, stretching out the kettlebell, we come back to rolling out the heel again. And the arch. Because maybe we can get a little bit deeper this time. Nothing like muscle memory. Then we're going to move up a little bit further into the calf. You're going to take that lacrosse ball, place it underneath the calf, and just begin into point and flex, you can just hold in one spot and the ball will really do all the work. Your body weight on top of it is really going to help it. Depending on where the pain is in the calf or the ankle, you might like to evert and invert the toes, dorsiflex, plantar flex. Essentially moving that foot in every single direction that it would in any given day. Turning the toes up and trying to get into that separation right there in between the Achilles and the calf muscles. So just applying a little bit of pressure by leaning forward. And of course, not causing pain, but coming to your edge. All right, so here we have a foot and ankle, mine wrapped in voodoo floss. That's just a really taut band. And again, you can do this at your own discretion. Not everybody has to do it, but once it is wrapped, and you'll see how I wrapped it by how I'm unwrapping it. But once it's wrapped, all you're going to do is you're just going to keep it on for a little bit. And you are going to point and flex and stand up and mobilize, maybe even roll out, mash out, whatever works the best for you. And then you're going to let it go. You're going to feel that oh man point, and you're just going to let it go. Stretch out, and you're done.